All right, what's up, everyone? This is Sam, aka Wakeman VGC, and I'm joined here by Freohr today, coach of the Poke Kickers and Frogadier Division champion in Season 2 of the Great Lakes Draft League. How are you doing today, Freohr?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks.
Awesome. Well, I am super excited to have you here today. We've got some questions to ask Freohr about his season, and I think we're gonna start off first with just in general, like how did you feel with your initial draft? Like what did you feel like were the strengths and weaknesses and all that?
My initial draft was very, very good. Um, I didn't do trade the whole season, and I was very fine with my core. I had Coco and Lando, um, Corviknight. Um, I have to look for my team as Zorak, Blastoise, and Lapras. Where is it? Did I close? Lapras and Lantern and Celestial, I think. You know.
Yeah.
Um, and my core was Coco, Lando, and Cory, and maybe Blastoise too. And this core is very cool. It's and Raichu too, and they have a very good synergy. Like Coco and Lando, they can do Discrake, also dis discharge and Earthquake, and
Mhm.
with the ability from Coco, you can do that Earthquake do no damage
Yeah, telepathy.
to yourself, and yes, and then you can spam those things. And even if they brought other mons, yeah, you can do Dazzling Dream. And yeah, with Raichu is really strong too because in with Coco because in the Electric you can sweep the most. You can sweep the most. It's very fast, and with, for example, choice specs, you can one hit KO the most Pokemon. And yeah, there we comes to a weakness of this because there are ground types. You cannot damage only with they both can grass knot, but yeah, then you really have to be faster. But there comes Lando and Corviknight in the play because yeah, these are safe switches into the ground moves, and Blastoise can hit say strong, and yeah, the most of everything do the core Lando, Coco, and Corviknight.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I can say that all mons had their moment to shine, except Lantum.
Mhm.
But yeah, Lantum is T5, and yeah, there are no better mons for that. And yeah, one thing I have to say too is with Zoroark and Shedinja, you have um, the mind play in the game, and I really like that mind games. So the opponent has every time they have to decide if the Pokemon is Zoroark or Shedinja comes into play, and Shedinja can is a really really cool switch in, and with Ally Switch you have the mind game,
Mhm.
and then you have to hit it twice when you have no weather, And yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was a huge. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't really remember where I put it on PRs at the beginning of the season. Oh yeah, Frogadier was the division where I was
yeah,
late on those, but
yeah,
I
it's on
yeah
the
I
third
like
one.
this team. It's it's like it's to me on the surface it looks like a pretty non-conventional kind of team because a lot of people are really picky about, okay, I have I have my Firewater Grass core and I have my Fantasy core, and this team
Yes,
doesn't
yes.
have like the Fantasy core complete or the Firewater Grass core complete, but and there's like
Mm.
three water types, three electric types, but I mean, as evidenced by your season, like it felt like that was not like a huge problem for you.
No,
Yeah.
no,
And
yeah,
then
it was, yeah, okay.
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, and I think where the team, at least in the matches that I saw, like where the place where the team excelled the most seemed to be the offensive synergy that everything had with each other.
Yeah,
'Cause yeah, like you said, like you've got your electric terrain, which those two mons, Raichu and Koko, support each other really well, but then you've also got Blastoise to hit ground types, all that kind of stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm a huge fan of this team. So you said you didn't make any trades, which actually makes my job a little easier here. Were there any trades that you like kind of considered and then decided against throughout the season?
yes, I talked about Scrafty, but when I took uh, Scrafty, I had to redraft Raichu, and no, Raichu is too good. Every game, after the game, the other players said, "Wow, Raichu can sweep my whole team," and so there was my thinking. Yeah, um, it's so strong that the others have to react to Coco and Raichu, and then I can re-react, and that's very cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's I mean, I tend to be a pretty like hyper offensive type of player, and I think that's one of the things that about hyper offensive leads like that, even if the whole team isn't like a hyper offensive team, but those kind of cores and combos, I feel like those are really nice to because like when you put out that much offensive pressure, the opponent either has to match it or react to it. And so, yeah, I agree. Which that kind of leads me into my next point or into my next question. Did you have any like either any mons that you expected or that overperformed what you expected, or did you have any combos or strong leads that you didn't necessarily think of at the beginning of the season that ended up doing well for you?
Yeah. Um, the most surprised me Chidinja. I think Chidinja wants me the semis, and Chidinja there's very cool synergy with Lando and Coco when they can discharge on the Earthquake, and then the mind games with Chidinja they was very cool. I didn't expect it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, genau. Yeah, the others, the others combos I had in my plans. Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Shedinja's a pretty unassuming mon, and I know most people tend to think it's pretty bad. So I
yeah,
think it's cool. I think it's cool to see some usage from it. And then I do see you got at least one game and at least one kill on everything except Lantern. Why do you
yeah.
like? Do you think that was why do you think that was? Do you think it just never looked good? Do you think you had better options to fill that same role? Like what was your thought process behind never bringing it?
Yeah, I never brought Lantern because I had better options. Yeah, like I said, Lantern was T5, and it's a reason because it's T5 because yeah, its stats are very low and um, yeah, so mostly Blastoise or Lapras were better for the
Hmm.
water side and Coco Raichu for the electric side. The reason I picked it was because water absorber,
Absorb,
or
yeah.
absorb,
Yep.
yes, and electric.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't need. I yes, I didn't know needed that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean it's definitely one of those mons that it's like, having the potential for either volt absorb or water absorb, you never know which it's gonna run, so it can potentially have two different weak immunities there. And it definitely feels like an okay value in tier 5, so like I get why you didn't drop it, but it also makes sense that you never brought it to me because you have two better electric types and two better water types. So that makes sense to me.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, another question here. So did you have a particular matchup throughout the season that was hard, like on paper, like you felt like your team had a big disadvantage, and if so, how did you handle prepping for that?
Yes. A hard question. um, yeah, I think first, I would say all matches were winnable for that team. Also all all games I had,
Mhm.
but maybe the one in the quarterfinal against Hippo Down and Oranguru and so on. This
Oh yeah.
was yeah, this was a little bit tricky because Hippo Down is very tanky, and with Oranguru he could do Trick Room. That's one. That could be one weakness to that team because I have no own Trick Room or so on, and yeah, so I had to bring Zorak, and but yeah, with the berry, yeah, you could go for Corvi for the berry, but yeah, it's not safe that you will kill. It can be Zash also, and for that I wanted to bring Lapras with Mega Horn, and then Occurrency Lens. But yeah, I was happy that he didn't brought Oranguru. That would
Gotcha.
be tricky for me. Yeah, for Hippowdon, I had to bring Grass Knot on my electric mons,
Mhm.
Coco and Raichu. That was yeah, not
Gotcha. Yeah, and
yeah.
this was against Charles, right? And the Centiskorch gang. I just checked the website here to make sure. Um,
I genau.
yeah,
Right.
so yeah, I can see what you mean, and it does seem like that might be a potential problem is that there's not much of a TR mode on your team, so I could definitely see how like why you'd be so concerned about the Oranguru, but hey, I mean, you won the game, so you did something right there. Um,
Yes. A little
so
bit lucky
oh, sorry, go
in
ahead.
the end. A little bit lucky on the end with Zorak mind game, but yes.
Hey man,
Not-
I think it's pretty rare to have someone win a season and have them never get at least a little lucky. Um,
yeah.
it's just it's the kind of the game we play, I think.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so did you have a particular similar question here? Like, did you have a particular match that was your favorite? Like, either it was the most fun to play, it was the most fun to prep for, and if so, why?
Yes. First, I have to say all matches were fun to play and
Mhm.
prepare, but the most outstanding um, it's standard, but yeah, was the final for me because
Yeah.
it was my first final. I didn't have many practice. I play VGC for 1 year, and this was my second draft league. And then I got in the finals, and this was really fun to play. Even if I thought even if I will lose the finals, it's very cool. It's a very cool season, and yes, this was very funny to play.
Yeah.
And yeah, all my decisions in the final was right. They were so close, many
Yeah.
50-50 things, and yeah, I got them all right. This was I was so happy.
Yeah, dude, you made some really good. I really enjoyed watching that game. You made some really good protect calls in the end games. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and Dan, the other Dan, because I know your name is Dan too.
Yes.
The other Dan, he's a phenomenal player as well.
Yeah. Yes.
He's taken 2 seasons in the VBA, does well in a bunch of other really good leagues. So yeah, that's a good win. And so yeah, I guess that's a nice segue into. Um, I said this before we started the interview, but for those who weren't around, um, maybe could you give us some background as to when you started playing VGC? I know you said a year ago, but like, was there anything in particular that made you get into it? Because, there's, um, because in our community in the GLDL, a lot of people don't. I don't think a lot of people know you super well, and this was your first season with us. So, would you care to give a little bit of a summary of your experience so far?
Yeah. Yes. Um, my first experience with Pokemon was the first edition, and I played the first three editions, and yeah, that was fun playing on my own, the story, and with my friends. And I only make single battles with my friends and the story. And then I had a long break since Gen 8. And then I played Gen 8 only the story. And so there was, yeah, how it was. In the Corona time,
Mm.
there was some. I was boring, and then I looked on Pokemon websites, and then I saw that there is a German tournament for VGC, also double battles, and
Mhm.
yeah, I had no experience, but that seems to I would have a nice time, and yeah, I get into that, and I was a beginner, and there were many experienced players, and I thought, oh shit, what have I done? But then the tournament started, and yes, my first fight, I was not too bad. And yeah, then the other players who started the tournament, they were so nice to me, and two of them, yeah, they coached me. You can say they coached me the rest of the season, and there I learned a lot of things. And in the end of the tournament, was uh, I was in the play. You can say I was good, and yeah, they they coached me very good. And then one of them was Ducky. Some of you know Ducky.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know. Yes. and Ducky. Yeah, I told Ducky what to do now after the tournament, and yes, Ducky says, here's a tournament. It's in the USA, but if you want to, you can play with, and yeah, so yes, I challenged you guys, and yeah, it was very fun and
Gotcha. Okay.
very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how you found your way here. I always like to hear that because before the season I post links and invites and stuff in bunch of Discord servers, a bunch of Facebook groups, all that. So it's cool that you said Ducky kind of brought you in here, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, yeah, one second. Sorry, I have my 4-year-old nephew here with me today, and he invaded my recording space. so uh, so yeah, it's cool to hear that, and yeah, again, I mean, we were super glad to have you here this season. So I was gonna say too, I think that the time during COVID was kind of a big jumping off point for a lot of people getting into competitive Pokemon, especially people like who sounds like you, and also this is how it was a similar story for me. Um,
Yeah.
kind of who were more casual fans before, and then with all the free time on their hands, decided, oh, I can, you know, there's a competitive scene here, and kind of got into it that way. I
Yeah.
also I also do know that draft leagues really exploded during that time because obviously suddenly everyone was at home and all that. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, so that you said this was is this your first draft league, or did you say there was one before that?
Yes, this was my second draft league.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's impressive to win your second one, man. That's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
so I got another question for you here. Would you say so? Corviknight was your kill leader. It also had the best
Yes.
KD out of the entire league. Um, or in the Frogadier division at least. Would you say that it was your MVP, like your most valuable Pokemon, or would you say there was another that performed better?
No, it was of course Corvid. It's my kill leader, and it's had so good synergy with Coco, Lando. Also, it was most of the time it was a safe switch in because yeah, I the others want to attack me with ground moves. Oh yeah, Coke, Corvi comes in, and then it does so good things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I had Corviknight in season 1 of this league, and I know there's a couple other really diehard Corviknight fans in the league, and yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a huge believer in that mon, and it was really cool to see because it's I had it in a max format, and I think it's probably better with no Dynamax.
Yes.
And it was cool to see too because in Empoleon division, with Dynamax, Celesteela was both kill leader and had the best KD, and in Frogadier it was Corviknight when they've got the same typing and everything. So
Yeah.
that was kind of cool to see. Um, maybe it suggests that given the tier it's in and all that, maybe Corviknight is maybe a little better value or something in a format like this. But that's a whole other conversation. So I guess that leads me to the next question. I know we already kind of talked about your finals match, but um, what was your general thought process going into that match? Like, what did you think your win cons were? Because obviously, because you're here in this interview, we all know you won it. Um, and so, what was your general thought process going in? What were some win conditions that you identified? And how did you go about playing to your win conditions?
Yeah. My first impression was, oh fuck, he has many ground attackers. So
Yeah.
many good attackers with ground moves, and I was a little scared, but then I said that uh, then I saw that it was handleable. First, in all of my matches, I had a very cool Excel sheet that gave Ducky to me. There you can take all the Pokemon, and it's like the draft league things, but there you have and speed table, and the speed table then they also my team is faster, really faster, and yeah, the Dan do not have had an tail window, and trick room, he can do trick room, so I had to bring Sorok in my team, but yeah, yeah, I think not. He didn't brought Trick Room in the most games, so he didn't want to be faster than than me because he's bulky. He can take some attacks and hit hard. And yeah, so I watched what he can do to my core, and then I saw, yeah, Coco and Lando, they are awesome. And he, as first I thought Lando intimidates Zapdos is not so good, but then I saw, yeah, Zapdos is not so fast, and with Coco, I can handle Zapdos. And yeah, he did not have so much stuff against Coco Lando. Lando can hit Dracozolt and can hit Tyranitar hard, and Coco can hit Zapdos hard.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then I saw Glalie Scarfs can be hard for Lando, so Lando had the berry against the ice attacks. But yeah, Glalie is not the best ice attacker, so that
For sure.
was lucky for me. Yeah, and yeah, I saw that my fake outs. I have so much fake outs and faster ones. Dan only had one fake out, and yes, so I saw that Raichu fake out could be great. The
Hmm.
most of the season, Raichu had a choice specs, and so there is no fake out, but yeah, that could be a surprise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought you brought really good stuff into him. I felt like, yeah, like you said, I was looking at this matchup before I saw the game, and Coco is like looked obviously super good here because with Electric and Fairy you hit pretty
Yes.
much like hit pretty much half of his team. Um, so yeah, I think that was a good call. Obviously, and you kind of it seemed like to the last game you kind of ended up bringing most of your kind of original like your main core of Pokemon it seemed like, and yeah, I felt like the like he led Trick Room game 2 and he led Togepi Musharna, and I felt like it because it was a very passive lead, you know, because Mishana's got a decent
Yes.
special attack stat, but it wasn't killing anything with psychic off the bat. So I felt like you were really able to kind of just stall out with protects and outlast the trick room turns.
Yes.
And I think you even sacrificed a few things here and there to just keep your Raichu alive because you knew because it was pretty obvious that Raichu was your main win condition in that end game, and I felt like you played to it really well. What were your thoughts when like you saw the lead in game two and like you saw Togepi Musharna? Were you thinking, oh, how can I stop Trick Room, or were you thinking, how can I stall out Trick Room?
Stall out.
Okay.
Because I know that I can't kill Moshana with this lead. So yeah, the plan was to stall out, and maybe if I lost, then bring Zoroark in the next game. But yeah, lucky I had no game three.
Yeah, for sure. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I felt like you played it well, and I think you went for the Rock Slide turn one and discharge maybe just to like maybe get lucky and get a flinch or a para or something.
yes,
I
yes, yes.
That's
Hmm?
probably what I would have done too, honestly. That seemed like a good play to me. Um, and then I guess just one last question here. So how did you, and just in general really, how did you enjoy the season? Like were there anything, because I always like to ask this of people, but especially people who get really far and were competing really seriously. How did you feel about the season? Were there things you liked, things you didn't like? I'm always just asking for feedback here.
Yeah. I liked the season very much. It was my first season with the Draft League uh, website
Oh yeah.
too, and that was very, very cool.
Mhm.
And yeah, the players were nice, and yeah, the matches were very funny. I liked the format very much, the format, because the other draft league I played, there were no legendaries, and they had an special a special tier list. They had that was more like on other computer games. There was a category for tanks, supports, and
Oh, okay.
stuff. And yeah, this was normal. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's something that we've as
yeah,
as obviously as the owner of the league and stuff, I have looked at kind of some different formats in the past.
yeah,
And I kind of, at least so far, right? This is only the second season, but last season we had three divisions and it was all just Dynamax normal rule set. And
yeah,
then this season we had a lot of people who, between the start of season one and the start of season two, a lot of people played in some non-max leagues and liked it better. And so to
yes. Mm,
facilitate everyone's wishes, we decided to split it two divisions of each. And I think kind of my plan personally for the foreseeable future, going into Gen 9 and stuff, is to just stick it with standard formats because there are a lot of other leagues that do more quote unquote gimmick formats like no legendaries. I've heard about that class kind of deal going on where you pick like a certain amount out of each class, and
yeah,
low tier leagues, little cup leagues. Like there's so many different formats that are slowly picking up.
yeah,
So yeah, I've kind of just planned to stick with the kind of traditional formats.
yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
that being
One
said,
thing,
oh yeah.
one thing. What was a little bit sad that our league in the end there were some some left. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience in the first few weeks. We had
Yeah,
was it like 4 drops or something? I
4
think
drops. Yes, of
yeah.
course, yeah.
So, it's like you never want to see that happen, but
Yeah,
a
but
couple guys had some real life stuff come up. Like I know Gumi had to pretty much fall off the face of the earth for a month.
yeah, it's
What
happened.
else? Yeah, there were a
It
few other
happened.
guys who had some legit reasons, but yeah, as someone
Yeah,
who has to find the replacements, right? I never want to
yeah,
see people go, but I felt like we got some of the replacement coaches we got in have been really awesome to have in the community too. So I think it was
yes,
a couple of the drops were a blessing in disguise, I think, but not because the people who left were bad, but because the people who joined were great. Um,
yes, yes.
yeah, but
That makes it.
that being said, thanks a lot for joining me and giving me some of your thoughts on the season and all that. Big congratulations again on your win. Um,
Thank.
I hope to see you next season and see you in other leagues that are going on pretty soon
Of course.
here. And yeah, you got any final words or
Um, Final words. Yes, thank you for the great league. It was very cool.
yeah, of course.
And
Thanks for
yes,
playing and again, congratulations. And
yeah,
to everyone else, thanks for watching. I will be back at you guys again soon with the interview with Panda, and then later this week with whoever wins Squirtle. And catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.